Today's project, we're going to be putting some rear shocks on my 2500 pickup. I've already got it up here on the lift. First thing right off the bat, don't get worked up about this thing being on the lift. This is just to give you guys a better view. What you're seeing by me doing it this way is the lift itself is acting as the jack stand, and this pole jack right here is going to be pretty much just acting as our floor jack. The last thing I want someone to say is, oh, that truck's up on a lift, this doesn't really apply to me. Well, a couple weeks ago, I just did my Trailblazer outside using jack stands and a floor jack. I think I have a picture or two I can put up here just to kind of show you, but everything's exactly the same. The only difference with me doing this truck up on the lift here is I don't have to pull the wheels off. Over the past couple weeks, I've just been crawling underneath here. These guys up there, just been hosing them down, and I think we're gonna have a pretty smooth operation here. Of course, by saying that, I probably just fucked myself. I'm gonna start with the driver's side because it looks like you can get a much better look at what I'm doing over here on the driver's side since it's on this side of the differential. So that's what we're gonna do. On these lower bolts, a 7/8 is kind of loose, a 13/16 is too small, and that just leaves 21 millimeter. So I got a 21 on a breaker bar and a 21 on a ratchet. Now what we got to do is try to get those two bolts up there out. What I'm going to do is take a 13 mil wrench. I got two bolts up at the top, and I'm just going to hold the wrench. I've got another 13 millimeter with a really long extension. This is just one of them things that's kind of awkward as fuck. Sure would be nice to go fire up that compressor and then tell everyone how fast and easy this is. Oh yeah. Oh no. These things are freaking on there. Good Lord. So I got this turd loose enough. Now it's just supposed to be wash, rinse, repeat for this other bolt up here. Don't know if you can see it. See him right back there, right up there? That's what we're going for now. Cool. Didn't really make much of a difference if the truck was on the lift or not. It still was, a little bit awkward getting to those bolts. Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be like this loose. I'll put one of these bolts in, get that motherfucker started, just so he can hold shit up for us. Just grab the other one, just get him started. Now you guys know I try to keep it do-it-yourself, and as much as I'd love to show you fighting this motherfucker for the next 20 minutes getting these two bolts done, I'm just using a ratcheting wrench up top. I understand definitely that I could have just done this to get it off, but in the spirit of do-it-yourself, didn't really want to show ratcheting wrenches because not everybody has them. But trust me, we could sit here and go through the whole shebang with the, putting the big wrench up there and tightening this down, and it's still awkward and the wrench wants to pop off. I just have some dikes here. I'm just going to cut this band off. What happened was when I cut the band off, the shaft just started lightly going down, going down, going down, going down. And I was standing here with the bolt ready to just ram it through. Unfortunately, I did not put the camera down, so when I do the other side, I'll definitely throw that part in there. If we were doing this on the ground, this would be the point where we'd lower the floor jack. Now, the other side's damn near the same thing, however, it's mounted on the other side of the differential. So rather than bore you guys with doing this again, I'm going to skip the part where I wrestle out those two bolts and the bolt down here and go through all that. And I'll get to the point where I cut the zip tie. But trust me, bolt sizes are the same, everything else is the same. This is the part I wanted to show on the other side, but I messed up. So as soon as I cut this fucking cord, she's gonna start coming out. And all I was doing was just trying to get this thing lined up. Not that it would go and hit the floor or anything, but I've tried to push them up on a couple different ones, and that shit sucks, believe me. Click. Click. Okay, it's torqued. Just cut the rest of this dick off of here. And if I was doing it on the ground, this would be the part where I'd put the tire back on. Lower this motherfucker down. Boom. Now all we gotta do is just drop her down and we are good to go. The fuck? What the hell? Oh wow. Oh wow. Almost looks like the power steering pressure hose is leaking. You see that motherfucking fitting? Like right there, there, there. Son of a bitch. Gotta have a wah-wah. So how often should you do this? Well, it beats the fuck out of me. That truck's got 169,000 miles, I think, on it. And I don't think they've ever been done. I've had it for a long time. I think I had it when it had 60,000 miles on it. It never really bothered me before, but since my Trailblazer's getting a lot of work done, I've been driving the pickup and it's just too rough of a ride for me for daily use. Between me filming and fucking up and dropping tools and, you know, just using hand tools, I did it in around an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40 minutes, but again, that included a lot of dickery that, you know, wasn't really part of the repair. This has been something that was requested for the Trailblazers, was a video about rear shocks, and I refused to make one. The reason that I'll probably never do one for the Trailblazer is a lot of people, when they are thinking about changing rear shocks, they're also thinking about changing rear springs. A lot of the times it's related to towing. The only thing I tow in the Trailblazer is me. Well, I've snatched up a couple cars and trucks and drug them home, but for the most part, the suspension in my truck's stock, and it's going to stay that way. Having, you know, been on the Trailblazer forums for a very long time, and even though I don't really get into suspension stuff like that, I mean, people have gone and done a lot of stuff to, you know, get a combination of springs and you know, shocks that work for them. Even, you know, taking parts that weren't for Trailblazers and Envoys and putting them on Trailblazers and Envoys. So I'm definitely not the guy to go to when it comes to rear shocks. You know, I did the shocks at home just on my own convenience, and I thought about making the video, but I think people would want more than just taking 2 bolts out and putting 2 bolts in, for the Trailblazer at least. You know, for the pickup, I didn't see anything for a 96, 97, or 98 C or K series pickup, so that's why I went ahead and did that. I've said this before, I've posted this before. I'm definitely not that good with suspension and steering stuff, but I can do rear shocks, so it's definitely do it yourself just with hand tools. I don't know how much harder that would have been to all take apart if I had not gone for days and sprayed those fucks with PB Blaster. I mean, days. I've been spraying them a lot, you know, just to make my life easier. That's something that, you know, working in a shop, I never had the luxury of doing. It's the job pays 6/10. You must get it done in 6/10 or less. I had a car in here yesterday and made a huge mess in the bay. I got the car out and cleaned the shit up. I brought my pickup in here today, put shocks on it, and something is just leaking really bad. So that's what we're going to get into in the next video, I guess. I really wanted to get into fixing the blower motor in this truck. It's not really the blower motor per se that's the problem, it's the switch. But looks like this is a little bit more important, so I guess the next video may be whatever's leaking in this fucking thing. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe to my shit, you know what I mean? Cruising YouTube, they do a search for Chevy pickup rear shock replacement, and they see a video that says, you see that? I caught that motherfucker just like the Matrix. Mr. Anderson.